Hi, I'm Mark Mazzaferro, Public Information Officer with the City of Vacaville, and this is another edition of Word on the Street with Vacaville Police Chief Richard Word. Chief, thanks for taking some time out of your day today.
Yes, sir. Always.
We're in a special location today. We're at the Vacaville Opera House, which is the site of the 2012-2013 Vacaville Police Department Awards.
Yeah, it's a recognition for the work in 2012.
Something we do every year at the department?
Every year, we recognize our police officers, civilian staff, some of our volunteers.
And this is a great venue.
This is our first time here, first time I've been here for this type of event, so looks great.
It's nice. It's going to add a nice touch to the awards.
It's an upgrade for sure.
Beats the heck out of council chambers.
It does.
But that's not hard.
No.
But there's more to just this episode than we're at the Opera House. We're here to meet your new command staff, basically.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, I think we've completely turned over all your lieutenants.
Turned over, size reduction, and these guys, as Vacaville will soon get to know them, they do a great job.
All right, well, let's meet some of the guys. Okay, we're here with the command staff of the Vacaville Police Department. We have Lieutenant John Carli, Lieutenant Ian Schmutzler, and at the end, Lieutenant Matt Lydon. And these gentlemen have ascended to these positions over the last couple of years, I guess. John, you were first, and then Ian, and Matt most recently was promoted to lieutenant. And they are definitely three of the best looking lieutenants we have on the force. Of course, they're the only lieutenants we have on the force, but that's another story. So John, tell us about your career here in the Vacaville PD. You're the longest tenured, I guess, of the three.
At this point, yes. I've been here since 1989 and a lieutenant for the last 3 years and currently operating in the Investigative Services Division.
Great. And Ian, you're not nearly as long as John, but close, I guess. Huh?
I came to Vacaville PD in 2000 from the Oakland Police Department, and I was promoted to lieutenant in July of 2011, so just over a year and a half.
Great. Matt?
I started my career in Petaluma Police Department in 1994 and came to Vacaville Police Department, returning to my home in 1996.
Great. So we have lots of guys who all live in the community and participate in the community and are great examples of the leadership of the Vacaville PD. John, what's it mean to be a lieutenant here in Vacaville?
Well, as an administrator, it requires wearing many hats, whether it's hiring, budget, running small units. Investigative Services has a lot of the specialty teams, investigations, narcotics, street enforcement, the youth service programs, our FRC, and then also our special weapons and tactics teams and critical incidents. So it's many hats.
Now, Chief mentioned that the department has kind of shrunk a little bit and it's consolidated. I think when I got here we had at least 4, maybe 5 lieutenants.
That's correct.
We're down to 3. I'm sure there's less sergeants, less officers. How tough is it to kind of adjust to those kinds of changes?
Well, it's been a 5-year process of how to adapt in a downsizing economy, and the City of Vacaville and the Police Department's no different in that respect. So it's been challenging. It's requiring other people to step up, and it requires a significant amount of trust and teamwork in the command staff and then in all of our staff.
And that's what I think, having participated myself in some of the interviews for sergeant and lieutenant, that and Chief and I have gone over this many times in past interviews. We have a lot of really good, qualified folks in our department. You 3 gentlemen are classic examples of that. That when you get done with the process, you talk to maybe 15, 16 people, you would feel comfortable with almost any of them being promoted into these positions.
Yeah, that's correct. We have really, really good staff, quality people over the years. A real investment into mentoring and developing anyone to step into supervisory or leadership roles.
Now, Ian, when you started working for the Vacaville PD, did you have your sights set on becoming a lieutenant someday? Was that the goal, or?
No. Actually, my goal initially was I wanted to work on the narcotics enforcement team, and after 3 years in patrol here in Vacaville, that wish came true, and I did 3 years with the narcotic enforcement team, and that's one of the great things about this department is that we have these different adjunct and ancillary assignments that allow you to develop and really get involved in the types of police work that are of interest to you. And once I came out of narcotics and made the decision that I didn't want to promote to a supervisory position, that experience that I had in that narcotics unit really helped me to develop there.
Now, can you kind of explain the process of I've decided I want to go into a management supervisory position to when it actually happened and how long that takes?
Well, we often say around here that you start preparing for the promotional process the day you start working here. And it's the relationships that you build with people and the way you treat people and how you build consensus and you're able to work as a team. But the formal process is the announcement comes out. We then recruit, or internally we then give our resumes and applications to human resources. And then it's a pretty in-depth process. We had to write, I don't know how many pages my written work ended up being, 18, 19 pages of written work to submit for the sergeant's promotion. Then you go through a very thorough professional oral board, sometimes a community oral board, an administrative oral board, and then the chief also seeks lots of input from civilian supervision, the other sergeants, lieutenants, depending on which promotion it's for. It's a really involved process.
Intense, sure.
It takes a long time, yeah.
Well, you don't just hire somebody off the street to be a police officer. Why would you just pick somebody out of the ranks to be a sergeant or a lieutenant?
Exactly.
Clearly, you want the best of the best, right?
Right,
So
right.
that's the idea. That's part of the process.
Right.
Now, Matt, same question. At what point did you decide, I want to be a sergeant, I want to be a lieutenant, I want to be in charge?
I think it has to do with your assignments and how well you round yourself throughout your career. And you get the respect through hard work and dedication to the community, and then your coworkers and your peers respect you as an informal leader. And that kind of gives you a stepping stone to take that step. And at that point in your career, you know if you're cut out for it or something you want to pursue.
And obviously, you decided this is something I want to do.
Sure.
And you didn't make this decision in a vacuum, obviously.
Right.
I mean, all three you gentlemen are married, I assume, and have families. And you know, that's kind of a part of the job that, you know, you kind of know about, the public kind of knows about, but really, without that support, this doesn't happen, does it?
No, it doesn't. You have to have that support. It's a career that you invest a lot of time in, some odd hours, and you see some things that are difficulty for a person that you bring back to your family ultimately. So it's difficult.
But it's part of the job.
It's part of the job, and you accept that. And most people getting into the job know those things. And when you're confronted with those things, we have the tools and the training to deal with those things.
Great. Now, you each have a specific area of responsibility. John, what do you oversee specifically?
Well, the department is broken up into a couple different divisions. The Investigative Services Division is what I currently supervise and manage the resources for. So that includes the investigative services, our Family Investigative Response Service team, which is the off-site dealing with family violence and our youth service issues are through our programs at the schools, and then our crime suppression team, very involved in the community dealing with violent crime and parolees. And in addition to that, we have our narcotics enforcement team, and then our special weapons and tactics teams. So predominantly, that's the division that I supervise and manage.
And Ian, you take care of?
I am field operations, it's now called Field Operations Division Team 2. We used to have an administrative services division at the police department, and we decided to restructure about 2 months ago. So now Lieutenant Lydon and I have split Field Operations Division. He has the Team 1 side, I have the Team 2 side. So essentially I have the Wednesday through Saturday patrol teams, there's 3 of them. In addition to that, I have the communication center, so dispatch, and the record section, as well as crime prevention. So we kind of took administrative division and split it between
Chopped
us.
it up.
Yeah, and
So, Matt,
added to John as well.
What are you taking care of?
Basically, as Ian just spoke, the Field Operations Division is divided into 2 teams, a Sunday through Wednesday team and a Wednesday through Saturday team. I'm responsible for the Sunday through Wednesday team, which in essence means the day shift, the swing shift, and the graveyard for the patrol function. In addition, I supervise the crime-free multi-housing, which is a program that many apartment complexes participate here in the city.
Right.
And the traffic section is also under the Field Operations Division 1.
Now, if you weren't paying attention at home, there was a little overlap there. You got the Sunday through Wednesday team and then the Wednesday through Saturday team, right? So Wednesday is not a good day to commit a crime in Vacaville. Not that any day is a good day,
Right.
but Wednesday is particularly bad. You increase your chances of being captured greatly by committing crimes on Wednesday. I'm sorry, I just had to throw that. All right, so we're all lieutenants, we're all moving up. What ultimately is the goal here? Okay, I'll just ask it. Which one of you wants to replace Chief Work? Go ahead. He's not paying any attention. Give it a shot. Let her rip. John? No? No, nobody? Wow. Well, I guess, but ultimately, isn't that,
Succession is a form of mentoring and leadership that does occur. We do it even where we sit today, because there's officers that have recently promoted to sergeant as recently as Monday.
Right.
And so, as it was alluded to earlier, the starting process starts early from the time an officer starts with a department. And there's quality staff everywhere, and so you look for opportunities to raise up the next leaders, and that's what we do. And so the belief that what we're doing now is continuing that process. And so if given the opportunity, I think any one of us could step into that role.
And that's one of the things that makes an event like today's event kind of important in terms of highlighting how the department works and the accomplishments of the guys and gals that work for the PD. It's like, sure, it's not just about make the arrest, go home, eat your dinner, go to bed. Nice job, nice work. Let's keep it up. Let's set an example for future officers, people who might join the department later on, right?
Succession in any organization, and the police department's no different, is developing the future leaders. The best compliment I think any chief can have is to be succeeded by someone from the inside that's been raised up. It's just a message to the quality people that the Chief Ward has, and so that's been an honor working here.
So, Matt, when you were told you're the next lieutenant for the Vacaville Police Department, what was that like?
Oh boy. I knew that I had been in an acting position when Lieutenant Casey retired, so I kind of knew a little bit what I was in for, and I kept my eyes on it as a sergeant and communicated often with the current lieutenants. So I had an idea of what the job entailed, or I wouldn't have applied for it if it didn't suit me.
Sure.
With that being said, there's challenges every day. That's one of the things that's really unique about this profession, is that you're confronted with different things every day and different assignments and promotions. So there's been challenges, and I rely on these two lieutenants and the chief to guide me in things that I haven't experienced yet.
And same question, Ian. It must have been quite a rush, I can imagine. It's like, congratulations, you're the next lieutenant of the Vacaville PD.
Yeah, it was very exciting. I was very excited to jump into the position, but as Matt alluded to, you kind of see it from the outside a little bit, and then once you're immersed in what's involved in the position, the honeymoon gets over pretty quick, and you get down to work, and it's just as both of these folks have said, it's just a testament to the wonderful people that we have at this department, that we're able to have such a downsizing in a command structure and an officer structure and supervision, and still do phenomenal work that we're doing out there.
Now, it sounds like you do a lot of, I don't know, for lack of a better phrase, office work versus I'm out on the street, on patrol. How tough of an adjustment is that to go from being a patrol person to a management type person?
It's definitely tough. There's calls for service. In fact, on my way here, I hear a call for service, and I was on my way home to change, and it's right around the corner from my house, and it took just about everything for me to not go, and they ended up handling the situation fine. But that happens quite a bit. One of the great things about the way that we've restructured the organization with Lieutenant Lydon taking half a patrol is now it's going to free up a little bit of time for he and I to be able to get out on patrol, because quite frankly, it's what I got in the job to do. I love driving a black and white police car and putting bad guys in jail, and to be able to go out and do some of that every now and then, just kind of, it's cathartic. It makes me feel like I'm a real policeman again. So,
so are you like the supervisor of the lieutenants, John? Is that
no,
not
at all.
That's the impression I get, though. I mean, I feel like they're looking up to you, and you're like the mentor for these guys.
But you're very, very tall.
Oh, it's the height thing, of course.
The same thing started when I was a recently promoted lieutenant. There were seasoned administrators already in the department, and so I relied on them, and through time they passed the torch on to me in sharing the knowledge and the information to be able to carry that on, because there is a lot of administrative duties. And so that just is a natural progression. We should never be afraid to pass on the knowledge that we have, because yes, it's a competitive profession, but we have to be a team, and that's part of it. So, and
that begs another question. I'm sure there's a lot of competition for these jobs.
Yes, there is.
And when for every winner, there's 8 to 10 to 12 people who don't get selected. Yet, it has to be this way, doesn't it? The department has to stay together, and everybody has to understand that that's life in the department, and next time, maybe that'll be your turn.
That's right. Unfortunately, but yet in a positive way, it is a very good problem to have such difficult choices. And just some of the opportunities to talk with the chief and his command staff to discuss those types of challenges. It's a hard choice when you have such good people. And there's always going to be disappointments, and that's the difficult part of this job that I see.
Great. Well, gentlemen, listen, congratulations on your recent promotions, your not-so-recent promotion, and your 3-year-ago promotion. And clearly, part of the reason we wanted to do this was to demonstrate to our residents that, you know, our department's in excellent hands with you guys at the helm.
I think we all believe so.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Yes, thank you.
Well, Chief, we've just met your command staff. Pretty impressive group.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, love those guys.
You gotta feel pretty good about the shape your department's in and what lies ahead in the future.
I do. You know, it's amazing. You know, when I started in 2004 here, I had a deputy chief and 5 lieutenants, and now I have 3 lieutenants, and they don't miss a beat. I mean, I'd like to get one more, a fourth, but they do a phenomenal job.
Have they got you looking over your shoulder a little bit?
Oh yeah, they're pushing me out, but it's okay. We got good people, and I'm proud that they're lieutenants here, and they look out for the city and me and the troops. They do a very good job of that.
Well, I'm impressed, and I think our viewers are going to be impressed too.
Yes.
So, thanks once again for taking some time out of your day and letting us meet some of your key command staff, and thank you all for watching this episode of Word on the Street.